What's up, guys? Welcome to Resetting Reactions. We're here for chapter at least 969. I don't know how far I'm going to go with this recording, but it's been a little bit since I've been reading. I've been thinking about how I want to do this moving forward. The way I've been doing it is really time consuming, and as you guys know, I just don't have a ton of time. So, I want to... I don't know if I'm going to do the reading out loud type stuff. I think I also enjoy the chapters a little less a few times. Not a few times, just a little less than I do when I'm just like reading quickly, doing all that kind of stuff. Especially when it's a large number of chapters. I'm considering just highlighting main things that intrigue me in each chapter. And then once I'm finally caught up to the currently publishing chapters, I can do more like reaction type content or just longer videos and stuff like that. But while we're catching up, I just kind of want to do it a little differently. So I'm going to handle it that way. So for this one, 969, this is A Fool of a Lord. Previous video, we just got done with Odin finally ending back up in Wano from his long adventure. And we finally get to the confrontation. I remember, like, what the hell is going to happen. So, I'm going to be scrolling through the chapter just so I remember everything that happened. So, the big thing that comes from this is that this guy has the berry rare fruit. And for a second, I was confused. I was like, Bartolomeo must have that right. But I guess this guy is super old. He's like a priest. I'm willing to bet that he passed away and then he the fruit ended up in Bartolomeo's hands eventually, like within the next like 20 years or so. So I thought that was a pretty cool detail. Obviously something like that needed to happen because Odin was not going to control his anger in this situation. And this is all when we what was it, Orochi kind of goes through what exactly happened, how he got the seat of power and everything. Everything here is pretty self-explanatory. What's interesting is that we have all of these images of the people outside, kind of hopeful that Orochi is going to be dethroned and the true ruler of this land is going to take over. And while they're celebrating that all this is happening, people start getting shot with poison arrows. And there's it causes a panic and people run away, and that's when we see Kaido in the sky. So by this time, Kaido had already made his way to the capital. And between this scene and the next scene, we just see Odin outside, like, making a fool of himself. So what I'm curious about is that between the time that Odin met Orochi, he met Orochi and came out. What was that conversation? I'm willing to bet it was some kind of threat against the people. That just explaining to the lengths that he was willing to go and put people in harm's way. Maybe highlighting what Kaido's capable of, what he's done in the past. I don't know exactly what's going on. But to see such a stark change from his defiance when he first goes into the room and then coming out and he's making a fool of himself, not really answering any of the questions that are asked of him, and really throughout the entire chapter, the only people that really truly believe he's the same old Lord is his retainers. His retainers still believe in him. Everyone really believes in him. Everyone of them believes in him, including, what's his face? Hyogoro, I think, yeah. He believes in him, and then, of course, Kinemon and the others. And in the midst of him being shunned, we get the news of Roger reading what he announced to the world, and, there's happiness and tears at the same time because... we can gather that Roger said that he's not going to die, and basically as long as he is remembered, he will not die. That's basically what I gathered from this. Like, you had a wonderful life. You became what Dr. Hillock's nice phrase back in the day in the Chopra arc. The only way you can truly die is if people forget you. I think that was the phrase. So I think that's what the happiness stems from. Seeing that he's brought on this new age of piracy. We also get a little smidgen of the Beast Pirates against the Gecko Pirates. So Moria looking young and a little different. He's got a sword in his hands. I thought that was pretty interesting. And as we continue through this, we eventually see Orochi come down, and this is when he announces that he's going to transform the place into the hellscape that it is today. And it's also when we find out that people who have been getting in the way have been eliminated, including Hyogoro, who's been in prison. His wife was shot probably because she was trying to protect her husband. So, unfortunate situation there. And that's finally what causes Oden to break. So I'm assuming if Oden was willing to kind of lay low and not get in the way, Orochi was willing to spare everyone and not cause any harm. But seeing what happened to Hyogoro's wife and him being imprisoned and people that are, fighting back in any way are getting harmed now, I assume that is why everyone gathers together finally to fight back. And that's when we get the 9 red scabbards and they're all lined up. And it's a really, really cool ass image. So that's the last thing I read. I'm going to go on to the next chapter and I'll be right back. Whew, all right. Oden versus Kaido, chapter 970. So that's how it went down, huh? I'm very curious. They get to the battlefield and Kaido's waiting for them with like 1,000 strong, I think they said. And Oden says all of that was a lie, but they never actually go over what this lie was. So it must have been something about them leaving maybe early, or just, I don't know. I don't know what kind of lie it could have been. That they wouldn't harm anyone. I don't know what the lie was, but Kaido has been lying to him so he could make his forces stronger, because at that moment Oden and Hyogoro's forces combined were stronger than everyone else. Even Kaido and Orochi's forces at that point in time. So despite that, this entire chapter, it was a very even contest. Despite being so heavily outnumbered, they put up on such a good fight. I'm kind of surprised that happened. I know freaking Oden is super powerful. I wasn't expecting him to be as powerful as he is, but this whole time, they're outnumbered like 100 to 1. And we actually see Shinobu for the first time as her wanted poster actually looks. So age has not been kind to her. Let's just say that. And this is at this point, the rest of the ninjas have already changed allegiances, but she always wanted to serve under him when he would become shogun one day. So that's why she joins in with them. Oden lands a huge blow. Obviously, we heard that he was one of the people that left a scar on him. And right as he's about to win, hostage situation, Momonosuke gets taken, and then he gets bonked on the back of the head, which is, man, it's fine, but I wish it was a little bit more dramatic considering the situation. But it's understandable that that's how it went down. Everyone gets captured. The only one that's left to go is Shinobu, because she's a ninja and they pretended that she was there to assassinate him. So that's why the only reason she gets away. And the rest of the crew are sentenced to get boiled to death. So, all right. I have no idea how the others No. Wait a second. Yeah, boiled to death. Yeah, okay. Never mind. No, disregard all that. I'm just gonna go to the next chapter. Okay. Okay, so what I was gonna say before the last chapter, I ended the last chapter's reaction thoughts was like, how the hell do the rest of them survive this boiling situation, right? Oh, we got our answer. All right, sentenced to boil, chapter 971. We got the public boiling, and if I remember correctly, the very first time we see Odin in the flesh is when he is, wasn't he sitting on a fire or something? It was something crazy. So we know this man, like, he's got some thick skin. He was being dragged by that ship for so long, doing all kinds of things, and the only reason he actually let go of the rope or the whatever he was holding on to was to go save someone. So obviously we know he's really tough. So, making a deal with Kaido to say, if I can stay in this boiling oil for an hour, you will let my vassals go as long as we stay in there. And he holds up that scene when he's holding him up, all of them. I just stared at that for a while. That was insane. That was freaking insane. All right. Now, we also... I didn't really mention, but the townsfolk really pissed me off because, obviously they don't know what's happening. They've called him a bumbling fool. This chapter, we hear them saying, hey, he's been an idiot this whole time. Now we don't even get to see his dance. Well, he couldn't even beat Kaido, so even his strength was what is he even good for? And that was freaking crazy to say. But he's holding on. He's holding on. He's saving his vassals while he's burning alive, basically. And basically, the only other thing that I really saw in this chapter was that Shinobu's there, and she cracks while this is happening, and it really goes into depth about what was happening at this moment in time. And it was actually a combination of things that I talked about. I was assuming, one, the people of the nation were at risk. And the other thing was that the agreement that he lied about was leaving after a certain period of time, which was actually ended up being true. The agreement this entire time was that, since Orochi, he kind of had to shoulder all the burden of his grandfather. So even as a child, as someone who truly didn't deserve to be persecuted the way he was, had to go through all this, he was willing to take out his vengeance on the entire country, regardless of if they were the instrument of that punishment to his family or not. So he was going to do a very similar, very widespread punishment of the country. So to add to that, he was going to pay tribute to Kaido, a bunch of slaves, and I think it was 100 slaves even at that point. And that's when we see Kaido kind of show up for the first time in the castle. We see Oden even clash with him at that point. But the agreement is that in 5 years they would leave after building a bunch of ships. And that every time he did his dance, it would save 100 people. So these were the prisoners that were eventually going to go there. And so he'd been holding on this entire time, and the rest of the people were laughing about this. Now, I'm not sure if the people will truly, sympathize with this or actually believe what's going on. But, man, that is a sad story, man. That's pretty sad that that's what it took. And he's been doing this, handling this all along. It's the mark of a great ruler, and Oden could have been that next person. But, man, it is what it is. All right, guys. For this review episode, I'm going to end it there. Let me know what you guys thought of chapters 969 to 971. I'll be continuing this as I have time. Little 15-minute episodes I can do whenever I have a little bit of time. So I think that's the perfect length, and it really goes over the main things that I really noticed. Sure, it's not super in-depth analysis. I probably could do that. Maybe I'll do that once I actually catch up. But that's where we're at. Hope you guys enjoyed this little discussion video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.